We are now joined by Dr. Sue Varma, board-certified psychiatrist. Dr. Varma, I think this was such a shock to a lot of people because we just saw her. She was just at the Country Music, Hall of Fame, at the awards. She walked the red carpet, and she had a plan to go on tour. We didn't see this coming. I guess that's the case with a lot of people with mental illness.
It can be, and one of the positive signs we look for is someone who's forward-thinking and future planning. And that's why this really comes as a shock. We do know that she had a long history of depression, but we weren't expecting this. She was really optimistic and hopeful, but realistic at the same time.
Dr. Varma, for folks who are watching or listening right now, what are some of the signs that folks should be looking out for, signs that someone may be suffering?
So 2 hallmark signs: low mood and a lack of interest and pleasure in things that they once used to do. Plus, not socializing, poor hygiene and grooming, and avoidance of social situations.
You always wonder, what could I have done? When you look at Winona and Ashley, I'm sure that's been kicking around in their head. What could I have done? And families do carry guilt.
Absolutely. So, the first thing I would say is don't blame yourself. Monday morning quarterback isn't going to help in this situation. Yeah. What can you do to celebrate the person's life? What can you do to counsel and grieve with the family and celebrate, but also educate the public, which is something what we're doing right now.
You wrote something that really struck me for people watching, and that is depression is a medical problem. It is not a moral failure. This is not something that people are doing to themselves.
Yes.
Tell us more about that idea.
Yes. A lot of times family members will say, but, I came to your house, I tried to get you up, you ran away, you went into your bedroom, and we would talk about that. And you have to recognize this is a medical illness. In diabetes, you have a problem with your pancreas, right? You have problems in the body. Depression is a medical illness that affects the brain. Nobody's doing this to themselves. People do not choose to be unhappy.
In families, does the dynamic change when it's a matriarch or a patriarch, sort of the leader of that family like you have with Naomi Judd? Because who's going to tell her anything, right? Because she has a whole team around her already, you'd think.
Yes. Tom, such a great question. So many times we don't want to get involved, or we're afraid of interfering or being too nosy, so we don't ask a person about their treatment. The best thing you can do is to ask, are you going to therapy? How's it working out? Do you like your therapist? If not, what can we do? Can I help you find a different therapist? Ask your therapist, what more can I get out of the treatment? Change medications. There's so much that family members can do.
But how do you even begin to approach the subject? If you see someone who's starting to, you can see what's happening.
Yes.
They're not as hygienic. They're sleeping more. Yes. What's the proper way to go in and address this?
Start with open-ended questions and then start to get, how are you doing? How are you really, really doing? I have time. I'm not going anywhere. Cell phones are hidden. I'm making eye contact with you, an arm on the shoulder, and eye contact, and say, I'm here for you.
That's good.
I've noticed X, Y, and Z. You're not the person that you used to be. Are you feeling joy? 2 things people who are suicidal will tell you. They feel helpless, and they feel like they're a burden on their family members. If somebody tells you that, they're hopeless, helpless.
And we should point out, we don't know exactly how Naomi Judd passed.
But she was so many people, millions of people suffer in silence over these things. You don't know, they don't talk about it. She was so open. She wrote a book on it. She had so many adversities in life, childhood trauma. She, I read, had a thing called treatment-resistant depression. What is that?
Yes. So treatment-resistant depression refers to a subgroup of people who have had 2 or more medical treatments that have failed. And we know that 1/3 of patients will fall into this category who have received a variety, and 1/3 will be super, super resistant. So that's why it's important to recognize that you might need a second opinion. You might need to have a change in modalities of treatment. There's so many available right now. And psychotherapy, talk therapy, particularly cognitive behavioral therapy, where you change the way that you think and perceive the world and interact with people in order to change your outlook and to change your functioning.
But what you just said about starting that conversation, that was fantastic. And don't give up. So,
Dr. Varma, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Of course, we also want to take a second to remind everybody that if you or someone you know is struggling, you can always call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That number is on your screen right now. It's 1-800-273-TALK, or of course you can text HOME to 741-741.
Yeah, thanks again.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.